Hey guys, in today's video my plan is to show you the things I've been loving during the past month in March, because March is already done. It's done, yeah. Obviously I'm still using and loving the things I showed in my previous favorite videos in January and February. Let's begin with clothing. I have one thing to show you, and this is this corset top thingy that I wear above another top. For instance, I've worn it with that thin cashmere long sleeve top piece. It's a stretchy material, it's quite comfy to wear, and it has chains in the middle. It's just there for decor. As you can probably see, all over it you have prints of sculptures, like Greek and Roman mythological sculptures. And if you've watched my video in which I make my 2024 vision board, you might know that I'm particularly interested in... Why is my cat mewing? Yeah, you might know that I'm particularly interested in mythology. It started when I was in the first year of uni, because we had a course of mythology in French, even though most of my courses were English focused and English world focused. This one was in French, and we had lessons about the main myths, Greek myths, and about the story of it all. And my interest started then, I think. I don't remember how I found that top on Vinted, but it caught my interest, of course. It's so unique. I'm a basic girl, like I don't really wear daring prints or daring colours or flashy colours, but I love adding a pop of colour here and there. And this top was the thing for me, like, you know, the thing you can add to a basic outfit to make it stand out a bit more and make it more special. It was not expensive, it was under €5, and I bought it alongside with another corset that is brown, and it's in my wardrobe right now. So it made me save a bit more on the delivery fees, because sometimes on Vinted the shipping fees can be more expensive than the thing you are buying in the first place. Moving on to makeup, I have one product to show you, and this is this lipstick that I got in Sephora several years ago. I can't remember when I got that. It was from the collection, the matte collection, the Lip Stories collection, and it's in the shade Labyrinth City. I don't know if you remember this collection, but the lipsticks had different pictures on the packagings. It was made in Italy, and I've used that quite a bunch this month. This is the shade I'm wearing on my lips today. And again, if you've seen my lip collection video in which I get rid of some of my lip products, you might know that I'm a sucker for shades that are reminiscing of the 90s and of previous decades, and I love the brownie shades, nudie shades that have a pink undertone to them, and this one is, I think, is in this category. It's like a mauvey brown, and it reminds me of the 90s. That's why I love that. And to be honest, my lip collection declutter video made me realize that I have very nice products in my collection, but I had forgotten to use them. That's when I began reusing that lipstick again. It's really nice and it's matte. I mean, it does not hold on your lips for many hours, and when you drink or eat it smudges a bit, but it's still nice for the price, and I'm not sure that Sephora still does that collection and still has it. Now let's talk about TV shows. There's one TV show that I've watched and loved, and this is The Bear season 1. I think that in March I watched like most of the episodes days in a row, and by the end of March I think I was like at episode 6 or 7 out of 8. If I remember well, there are 8 episodes in one season. Might be wrong, but if you don't know that show, you can find it on Disney Plus, but I don't have it, so we had to be sneaky and find the show on a shady website, but it's working. I think that the show is originally from a TV channel that you can get in the US. If you don't know about that series, it's about a dude who is very good at cooking, and he was a chef in a very famous restaurant. But at some point there's an event that makes him move to the heads of a small restaurant that is specialized with beef dishes and is more in the vibe of a diner than a classy restaurant. So that's how I could summarize that series up without spoiling anything. I didn't know what to expect of that show because, like me, you might have seen some extracts from it with the character being very angry and aggressive, or yeah, it's the extract I've been finding on the net while I was scrolling on TikTok or on Twitter or Instagram. The main character, played by Jeremy White Allen. By the way, this guy is very talented, and I get the hype for his Calvin Klein ads. He's stunning. The main character is very interesting, and I mean all of the characters are very interesting in the fact that they all have flaws and they all have their dark moments and dark sides, but at the same time they have their positive energy and they bring so much to the restaurant they work in and to the other persons they work with. It's nice to see a show with such realism because they're not perfect, and sometimes there are goofy moments because this show is said to be a comedy, but either way I think that it's more on the dark side than on the comedy side. I'm a girl who stays with what she knows and who stays in her comfort zone when it comes to series, movies, video games. Yeah, I mean lately I've made some effort to go out of that comfort zone and to discover other media and all other things to watch and to play, and The Bear was part of that effort, and I'm glad I did that effort because it's such a great show. Some characters are despisable, but gradually they become moving and we get along with them. I don't know if I can talk about the end of season 1 because at the end of March I had not watched the last 2 episodes of the season. However, let me say that the last episode of that season is a masterpiece and is very moving, and I almost cried several times during watching this show, while watching this show. So that says a lot, and I cannot wait to move on to season 2. I could ramble for days about that show, so I'm stopping there and let's talk about something else. At the beginning of March, I went to see one of my colleagues play for a play. Yeah, that was called Carole. It's very Frenchy. Basically, the play was about 2 parents being quite scared to see their girl go to Paris because they live in the countryside of France, and their girl that was not too young, like she was 20 I think in the play, the girl is planning to move to Paris to start a career as an actress. So because they are, oh, my cat is trying to scratch me up. They have always lived in the countryside, so they have quite a yeah, the parents have always lived in the countryside, so they might have a conservative vision of things. That's why they have to get used to their daughter moving to Paris for such an obscure career. It was such a Frenchy type of play and topic, but it was very funny and moving, and my colleague is so talented with acting. That was insane. She almost made me cry at some point in the play, and the father was played by her real husband, so that was funny. It was very refreshing to go to the theatre to see a play. I feel like we tend to forget to go to plays, and that can be such a good moment and such a good experience. I'm looking forward to see other plays. I'm not sure that you'll be able to find the play anywhere on the internet. However, I wanted to mention me going to that play to encourage you to go see plays, or it's not the same if you watch them on YouTube or something. It's better if you go see the play live. There's a movie that I particularly liked this month. It was the first Dune, like the first of the recent Dunes, because there was the old Dune that came out decades ago. I've not watched that one. It's the most recent one that I've watched, the first Dune, with Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya. I don't really know what to expect of that movie. I'm a girl who loves sci-fi and dystopian worlds and, very different universes from us. Yeah, universes that look different, but that in some way remind us of what we live in our current societies. I knew that the movie would be very long, so that was one more reason for me to be quite defensive and I was pleasantly surprised with the storytelling, all the decor, the acting game, and everything felt very convincing. I don't know how to pronounce this word. Convincing. Everything felt very convincing, so that says a lot about what I felt about this movie and what I feel about this movie. I've not seen the new one. I'm not sure that it's still in the cinema at this point, but I'll watch it somewhere on the Shady website when it will be available. There's a book that I've loved using in my spare time. I mean, it's not a classic book, it's a journal. It's French, but I'm sure that you can find equivalents in your language or in English. It's a 5-year journal, and every day, I think I talked about that book in my 2023 favorites. Basically, each day you have a different question, and I enjoy answering to that question before going to sleep. It's a ritual that I've installed in the last weeks and months. The question for yesterday was, who are you feeling the closest to? My cat is playing with the cord of this notebook and she's destroyed it, but she's still playing with it. Having a journal is a really nice way to get yourself down and get your thoughts written down. I'd love to buy the 5-minute journal that you can find on Amazon or in bookstores probably, but I don't think that I've seen the 5-minute journal in any bookstores in my town, so I may have to order it online. I'm not very good with basic journaling, you know, when you scribble what you want. For the moment, I'm more at ease with journals that have questions and, you know, like a guideline to follow. It's more reassuring to me and I'm more at ease with that. The last thing I wanted to talk about is a podcast that I've loved listening to. It's the Contre-Soirée podcast by Anna VR. I'm sure that you have similar types of podcasts in your own language. She's a French YouTuber that has been around for a while, and she started her podcast 1 or 2 years ago, and it's been very famous in France. She even did a live episode. In her podcast, she talks about intimate things like her relationships and her relationships with friends, with love interests, with herself, and she talks about many diverse topics about herself, about personality, her behavior. For some episodes she has guests with her. It's nice having a different energy to the podcast and having a different opinion on the topic she's talking about, or perhaps the same opinion but from a different angle. It's very varied and she makes her audience feel as if they were her friends. She named her podcast Contre-Soirée as a way to symbolize, you know, the conversation you can have after a party or after a restaurant with someone. You know, when you walk with someone home after a night out, often you have very deep discussions and very interesting discussions. Some episodes can be funnier and have a lighter tone, while some episodes can have a lighter tone and be funnier, while others are darker, have a more sinister tone. It's a roller coaster of emotions. That's it for today's video. It was a bit all over the place, but I hope that you've still enjoyed listening to me and watching me. There were many random favorites in that video, but I don't have much skincare and much makeup. I often use the same things. and often wear the same clothing as well. I try to be as minimalist as possible when it comes to makeup and clothing and skincare. There was not much difference with what I've used in the past months. I wish you a great end of the week, or a great day, a great night, and I'll see you in a future video. Goodbye.